English translation 95th contact. Saturday, 17th of December, 1977, 1958 Ursas.
Good grief, Quetzal, you do not look well. You are chalk white. What is the matter with you? Are you sick?
That is not so. My unpleasant appearance is based on other concerns of a not good nature.
What do you mean by that? Is it related to Simyase? On last Thursday, around 1636 HRs, she fell down in the center, and since then I have just been thinking again and again that something might have happened to her. Somehow this thought just will not let me go.
This is due to your connection with Simyase. Yes, for her sake I am here, and in concern for her I am in an outward and inward bad state. Tell me what happened on the evening of the 15th December.
Quetzal, what happened? According to your bad appearance, something really bad must have happened to the girl. Please, tell me first what is wrong with the child.
Later, answer my question first.
As you like. But first you tell me why Simyase came here on Thursday. Because in the 2 or 3 minutes of her being here, she told me that she had something very important to explain. It would also make me wonder what happens with Engelbert. Are you making any inroads with him?
You are incorrigible, because although all your nerves vibrate as a result of your unknowledge in regard to Simyase, you still ask questions. But I do not want to answer them today, nor do I understand your question about the inroads.
Engelbert just told me today that he was picking up some impulses that would have lured him to Horgenberg on several occasions. So, I wonder if any of you are looking for any contact with him? I also explained to you that Simyase was talking about something important on Thursday that she wanted to explain to me. But this explanation did not come anymore. But it must have been important. Otherwise she would not have come here especially for it.
Thus I want to answer your questions, which should be correct. Simyase actually had some very important things to tell you, like this. In the course of the last weeks, we have become aware through the center monitoring that Amata again is making faulty connections and faulty actions, which become unacceptable. With regard to these findings, we also monitored her in her private actions and found that she very often wrote documents which she described as transmitted by Ptah, by myself, by Simyase, by Arahat Athersata, and even by the Patah Li level. The thoughts she created herself and put on paper are so confusing and even dangerous for the group that Simyase was supposed to reveal this last Thursday with an explanatory report for all members of the group. We also had to make the statement that Amata had more experiences another time and heard and saw things which are not, and in no wise reality, but which are only formed out of her eccentricity, and which are supposed to serve a certain purpose, which she herself is no longer able to exactly recognize. Truthfully, the reason for her confused actions lie, on the one hand, in the fact that she is not inclined towards openness and has created an impenetrable wall towards her fellow human beings around her, but on the other hand, in the fact that unfulfilled desires are awake in her, which are directed towards the wanting of physical relationships in a certain form, which is not to be explained here, however, because I want to talk to you about it later on, and that in secrecy. In order to fulfill these confused, unfulfilled desires, Amata tries to make herself interesting by pushing herself forward through alleged transmissions from me, from Ptah, Simyase, Arahat Athersata, and the Patah Li level, through which you, in turn, are to be influenced. Sometimes, however, she also imagines many things, which she then interprets as reality, but is not aware of the untruthfulness, because the imagination overshadows reality to a great extent. It also very often results from this that she indulges in talk in such a manner that she establishes contact with Simyase, with me or Ptah, and speaks to us in telepathic form. But also this is not in any form of correctness, because never before, not presently, and also never in the future was, is, or will exist the possibility of Amata being able to come into contact with us in this life. We have never had telepathic contact with her, do not have it at present, and will not have it in the future. On the other hand, it can still be explained that her sense of belonging to the group and to your community in the residential part of the center and in the work performance is very disturbed, which is also due to her imaginations, etc., and to her eccentricity. Regrettably, we have found that she is too distracted from her actual duties and too involved in office work. So it is imperative that you explain to her that she should not be in the workroom for writing, etc., for any more than 3 hours a day in the future. On the other hand, she should devote more time to outdoor work, namely manual outdoor work and household chores. Should this not happen, it would endanger and even destroy many things in your community in a very short time. So you have to make sure that my advice is followed. Unfortunately, these very regrettable incidents and statements mean that Amata cannot take over the task at the Sohar Center and cannot carry it out, which is why your wife is given this mission, who has apparently made the most admirable progress in every respect of all the group members over the last few months, which has already increased her entire evolution, level higher than more than 2/3 of all group members in such a short time, which she will have outstripped in a few months with her efforts, provided that she does not act and does not deceive us all. This is a rare joy for us, if everything is true, because you too will be relieved very, very much, whereby you will receive help from her in very quick succession. We are all very grateful to her for this.
She will be very happy about that, as I myself have been happy about her enormous changes for months now, because it has not remained hidden from me either. But now, my son, you have not answered the question yet about Engelbert.
No big explanations are necessary, because from our side a contact attempt is in no wise made. And when I explain this, it means that none of us makes, or ever will make, such contact attempts, except in 2 exceptions, which, however, are not yet given in any form in such a wise that they could take place in physical form.
Then let me ask you a question. How many other contacts, I mean impulse, inspirational, etc., are you currently having with the Earth humans?
22 though from 463. But now explain to me what is happening in relation to Sim Ya Se.
There is also not much to explain. Last Thursday she came at about 16:32 hours or 16:33 hours. We greeted each other briefly and then sat down on the 2 chairs in the center. Sim Ya Se could only briefly explain to me that she had an important matter to discuss with me when she was briefly shocked and explained that someone had knocked on the outside door of the center. I explained to her that I had not heard anything and that maybe she was wrong. But she insisted on her point of view and said that someone had actually knocked outside and that she would therefore leave. Said, done. She stood up, apparently caught her foot on the table leg and fell, with a soft scream, over the electric oven, which became defective thereafter. I still saw her bounce up and hit her head against the wall in the fall. Then she had disappeared because apparently she had pressed the trigger button of the transmitter when falling. When I went out 2 minutes later, Jacobus stood outside, hidden behind the door and grinning. Of course I told him what I thought, not a good one, and he replied that he knew Sim Ya Se was down in the center, which is why he tried it just once to see her just now.
That was very irresponsible of him, because very bad things happened because of it. Sim Ya Se did not return to the station at the agreed time, and we received no news from her either. At 23:24 HRs, after unsuccessful attempts to locate her, I set off to search for her and the ship, finding it floating, shielded, above your center at 23:30 HRs. When I entered her ship, I found her lying on the ground in a deep coma with a broken right arm, which I was able to heal on the spot, but also with a very severe fracture of the base of the skull. This forced me to fly with Simyase from your center to Era immediately and without loss of time, where the crushed skull parts were sucked out of the partially injured brain mass by vacuum force. Apart from life function reactions, no other reactions have been observed in her in the meantime and so far, whereby our scientists in this respect also explained that they were completely helpless and could do nothing until Simyase regained consciousness. Incidentally, the injury is of such a serious nature that they are helpless in terms of healing. Ptah himself, therefore, made his way to the Dal universe to seek help from Asket, as her people are advanced in many respects from ours. Nevertheless, it is questionable whether Simyase can still be helped. For my part, I only had to find out what had happened at all, which is why I came to you to ask you questions.
Shit, damn it.
You are very upset by my words. It is better if I go. On Era I am needed.
Of course, get out of here, man. Go and see the girl come up on top and let me know of any change, damn it. This idiot, he should be beat up,
You are very upset, but you are not serious. You are very sad and angry. Goodbye.
Let us hear something from you, as soon
as a change occurs. Goodbye.
Go do something, damn it, you are still here. Get the hell out of here. Man, you finally.